point.
Right now, again, Sandy is still causing some havoc across the Northeast. Let's bring in our hurricane specialist, Dr. Greg Postel. And Greg, the pressure has come up, but the winds are still kind of gusty across a good chunk of the eastern third of the country.
Yeah, the pressure has come up a lot. In fact, it's come up 40 millibars, which what that does is we still have a very low pressure near the center, even though it's come up so much. And because the pressure is very low, we still have very strong winds in certain parts of the periphery of the circulation. And let's look at the latest on Superstorm Sandy. This is from HPC, the Hydrometeorological Prediction Center. 45 miles per hour on the estimated sustained winds. There are no sustained winds. I can't find any sustained winds that fast, but there are definitely some gusts that fast, and in fact most of them are over Lake Michigan, and I'll show you that in just a second. The system overall is moving to the west-northwest. The center of circulation is in western Pennsylvania. Looked at some surface observations and some radar data suggests it's still out there, but that's just the center. Again, it extends over a very, very large area, covers a huge territory east of the Mississippi all the way from Maine to Iowa, and in fact places in between, of course, all the way down south toward the southeast part of the United States. Now the area is shaded here. This is wind speed. This area that is not shaded are where the winds are the lightest, the weakest. So this is where the circulation center is. And fortunately on the east side in New York, they're much weaker than they were yesterday by far. 7 miles an hour only out of the south there, and DC 9. The strongest winds have now shifted to the west side. Now this area is shaded in purple over Lake Michigan and Indiana, and nearby parts of Illinois have some strong winds gusting to 20 to 30 miles per hour. And in fact, I just looked at a surface observation near Gary, Indiana, where the winds there are gusting to close to 50 miles per hour there. And so those winds blowing in a counterclockwise fashion like this have really rearranged the temperature pattern. It is now much warmer in northeast part of the country. In fact, far northern Maine, it's in the upper 50s, and in Asheville, North Carolina, Charleston, West Virginia, it is in the low to mid 30s. So normally you think of the warm air being to the south and the cold air to the north. That is not what it looks like now, thanks to the large circulation associated with Superstorm Sandy. Now look at some of these buoy reports from the circulation. The winds are northwest, sustained at 38 miles an hour at this buoy with a 17-foot wave over Lake Michigan. Likewise, 36 mile per hour wind in the northern part of the lake. Very strong winds and large waves being reported all across the western half of the lakes. Of course, there's only 1 foot wave. That's very close to where the center of the circulation is, and the winds there aren't very strong. So much weaker winds over there in Lake Erie. Now let's have a look at some of the impacts in the Great Lakes, and you can see that Lake Erie, we have winds and gusting to 45 miles per hour still with 9 to 12 foot waves. That's today, and we still have these impacts here with gale warnings all along Michigan here on the Michigan coast, Lake Michigan coast there, with waves of 17 to 20 feet and winds gusting to 55 miles per hour. Don't forget some flood warnings here. We have some gusty showers that have been moving southward across the region. That is one nasty time of it right now across northern Indiana and parts of southwest Michigan, with cold conditions, temperatures in the 40s, winds gusting to 50 miles per hour, and of course some rain showers as well. So we're still dealing with the impacts of Sandy, and they're going to be with us for a while, extending over a very large area. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Dr. Postel. One of the towns